Well, hello everyone. I made this new video for you all because I wanted to kind of go over a little bit about what was said last week in the instructor video. And let me begin by saying that those instructor videos that were recorded using Adobe Connect does require that you go through some, you know, a procedure with your computer to make sure that you can view that video. Uh, the videos work, and if you have a computer that's, you know, current within the last 6 or 7 years, it will actually work for you. And if you can't get that to work, then I have asked you in this course to go to the library at OC or go to a computer lab to get some help to make sure that you understand how to make that happen. If you haven't seen any of the instructor videos, then it's not to your advantage in this course. Now, to help out with that potential problem, and I haven't really heard from students that they've had a problem with Adobe Connect, but to help out with that potential problem, I'm also using a new format, which is just simply YouTube videos, which people watch every day and have certainly no problem in accessing. So this one you will not have any problem accessing, but again, you need to have watched all the instructor videos. Now, this is not going to be a long video. I've learned something about online instruction, and recently in a class that I took, the concern amongst online instructors is attrition rates in online classes. They tend to be higher than in traditional on-ground classes. And by attrition rates, I mean students who do not complete the course. And if you don't complete the course, then you can't get a passing grade, obviously. And that's not student success. Student success is a term that's being used a lot these days, and the definition simply is to enroll in a course and successfully complete it. In other words, get a passing grade. And I want you to be successful. And many of you are doing outstanding work in this format. But it does have its drawbacks in the sense that I'm not there with you. We don't have a kind of personal contact that is missing, obviously. To augment that a little bit, I've decided to throw in extra instructor videos for this course to try to make some of that connection for you. But just like I said in that last video that was last week about this midterm, which by the way, you have significant amount of time to get this prepared and submitted to Turnitin.com. It counts for 25 points, and I went over the thing about the points up till now in the course and the grading and all those things last week. But this is has a big point value, and you want to do well on this. And that leads me directly to the second bullet point. It's something I've been mentioning since we started this. You've gotta develop good time management skills. There's just no other way to be successful in this environment. You've got to get ahead of the game. The midterm is due on March the 20th for this particular course, and you have to be prepared to submit a quality piece of work, and that cannot be done at the last minute. You've got an essay to write, and essays need some time to construct and to review and to rewrite and to finally get it to where you feel comfortable with the final submission. All right. Half or 15 points of the 25 points is fallacy identification. Some of you have been very strong with that in some of the quizzes. Some of you have had issues with fallacy identification. You have a textbook which has practice identification exercises in it. You want to go through some of those. You want to test yourself. The answers are in the back of the book. If I can give you one kind of guiding principle on that, it would be, look, go with the one that is the most clearly identified. You may see two or three lurking in the background, but there's one that's going to slap you in the face, or it's going to be right directly in front of you. That's the one that you want to identify as the fallacy being illustrated. And there's sometimes some key words. If you start seeing key words like, and I mentioned this in the, I have strategies for fallacy identification identified in your text. So you want to go back and read those. For instance, I started to say about analogies or faulty analogies. They always have, this is like that, or this is the same as, or this is similar to. Analogies are comparisons. And so when you see a comparison that doesn't work, that's the typical comparing apples and oranges that doesn't mesh, then you're looking at a faulty analogy or a potential faulty analogy. And there may be some other things you're kind of seeing too, but it's the strongest fallacy that you're after that's being illustrated. Now let's go to the third bullet point: the value of critical thinking and how it's more than just doing research. Critical thinking is a kind of this internal process where you have kind of the facts laid out in front of you, and maybe you have a viewpoint in the essay that you'll be reading for the midterm. A viewpoint is being put forward, and your job is to first of all make sure you clearly understand the viewpoint. You break down the elements of the argument. Yeah, you understand that this is a thesis, and what is supporting this thesis. Is there counter arguments to this thesis? Are these counter arguments well handled or not? Is there a way to see this in a different light and maybe present a more persuasive argument? Once you have these facts, and once you have the outline of the essay that you're assigned to do for the midterm, and you read it over carefully and understand it and understand the argument, then it's time for you to do some what we're calling critical thinking, where you review the argument, where you look at the potential counter argument to see if there is a different viewpoint that's more cogent, that you could advance in contradiction to what is being presented to you. You don't want to use, like I mentioned last week, you're going to be submitting this to Turnitin.com. You don't want to try to, get on the internet and find someone else's counter argument and put that in as your own. This is a class. This course is offered under the umbrella of philosophy, and philosophers are thinkers, and they take a hard look, and they do some introspection, and they work to develop a rational response to what they're presented with in terms of whatever that might be, which seems to be a little bit different than what's going on today in the political arena, but that's another class and another story. I'm only sending this out today to make sure that you are paying attention to this particular course. I know you have other things going on in your lives, but I want you to take a hard look at this midterm. Start early, knock out the fallacies like I mentioned last week, get them kind of under your belt, and then do good work, do some critical thinking and some good work on this midterm essay, because it definitely is something that is obvious to me when I see that kind of effort expended. I'm not going to make this much longer, and I just want to encourage all of you to do the best work you can. At the end of the day, you earn a grade. I'm kind of in this course a facilitator. I process your work and assign you what you've earned. I want you to do the best you possibly can, and a lot of times that boils down to taking the time to do it and to do a good job. So once again, good luck with everything, and I look forward to responding back to you on the midterms after you have posted them at Turnitin.com. Take care.